And while we have this moment, this lull, I want to talk a little bit about it. Everybody, if you don't know, up in the left-hand corner, we also have a like and subscribe button for the channel. This is the official HeroesHype channel, the amateur series that we host weekly in the off-season. We have been hosting the Open Division for the last 2 seasons. Oh, sorry, the last 2 phases, not seasons. And you can find us also on Twitter at HeroesHype. Please send a follow for up-to-date information, everything HGC and HGC Open, especially if you're looking to find out which realm we're playing on, whether it's live or tournament. Very important information for anyone that is looking to play in the Open Division. And last but not least, we have the HeroesHype Patreon. All that money goes to supporting the wonderful live events and parties that we throw at official Heroes events. I believe we just saw the Western Clash. We had Heroes of the Dorm before that. BlizzCon's coming up. I think a record-breaking 42 hype members going to be present at BlizzCon. So be ready for that. It looks like they are trying to get us into the game, though. So we're going to go ahead and ready up in the chat. Bahamut, this is Dragon Shire. Tell us a little bit about the map.
It's a decent sized map. This is actually one of the maps that we do see a lot of prioritization onto globals, such as Dahaka. Dahaka actually being in the first ban quite often because of the fact that there is a great nuisance from Dahaka's brush stalking ability to then go from top lane to bottom lane, change a 4v4 into a 5v4, and really blow up the enemy team. And then you can take your time, walk back to mid lane and claim the Dragon Knight, as that will be the vehicle of the map to really siege in here. So often going to see strong, solo laners in top, maybe a rotation between mid and bottom. I wouldn't be too surprised to see the high prioritization onto the Decker Kane once again. But it looks like we're going to get similar bans, the mobility from one side, the blow up from the other. And I honestly, I think Freebirds is going to go ahead and probably first pick their Decker Kane once again if this is going to be a Genji ban.
Yeah, and it looks like it might be already taking out the Maiev. It kind of looks like Divination take. Oh, actually, we do see the Dahaka ban. We talked a little bit about that. But
it
looks like Divination kind of trying to take away the playmaking heroes from Freebirds. But yeah, first pick Deckard, ready to go.
First pick Decker Kane is going to go ahead and be picked up on the side of Freebirds, and Genji's available. Do you go for that mobility? I mean, there's a big nuisance, but actually they pick up the bird and Yrel. I like this. A lot of good brawling, and we saw Liam in the last game on Yrel was a nuisance, but this is a Sergeant Hammer and a Joanna Dunkstick. Oh my god.
The real question is, are we going to see the Lost Vikings? I believe last night we saw twice Sergeant Hammer paired with a Lost Vikings pick. This is a map where Lost Vikings can do fairly well, seeing as it is about controlling multiple points at one time. And when you have those 2 extra bodies on the ground, it does help quite a lot. I would expect to see actually a Blaze ban here. I think that would be an excellent ban to stop Sergeant Hammer from having that bunker. We're actually going to see Malthael, a little interesting. I believe some players have noted how well Malthael actually plays against Yrel in the top lane, and it's a very common ban to prevent that counter. So,
yeah, Malthael being considered a strong solo laner into her it's a great decision on the side of Divination to take that off the table. The other thing to note though is I think it was Scythe Esports who was the one who ran the Vikings Hammer last night, and if this was Scythe Esports, I think we would have saw a right away ban onto the TLV. But we actually do get a Rainer for some range poke and a Lieutenant Morales. Well,
somebody call me a medic because my heart's on fire. I haven't seen a Lieutenant Morales in a competitive game in so long. I am ready for the Stim Drone Rainer.
I don't have the words in this situation. I guess it would be Stim Drone, but that's going to be the Genji picked up on the side of Freebirds with the Leorc once again. I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe they actually, Dunk, do you maybe consider a Chromie in this position into a Sergeant Hammer? The poke damage was.
I think if we get a Zagara here, they're cheesing us. I almost positive. If they pick Zagara here, we're looking at a medevac cheese game from the side of Divination. Maybe trying to take the second game by storm. Nope. Gonna see the Greymane. Still possible. Not as effective, but still possible because he has very fast tower clear alongside the Rainer. But wow. 1,000 times I've seen this draft and never do I see Lieutenant Morales.
I wasn't expecting it. I mean, this is a map where we often see Stukov, we see Malfurion, a lot of great heroes that can utilize, you know, bush tricking abilities, as well as the fact that just lockdown is so great for these team members. But no, we get a Lieutenant Morales. We're probably going to be getting that stim drone onto the Rainer. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm kind of at a loss for words, to be honest, Dunkstik.
I think what's going to happen here is we're going to see these teams kind of like duel it off. Rainer v Sergeant Hammer, you know, the two right-click heroes. And it's going to be who heals better in that solo situation. Is it Lieutenant Morales or Deckard Cain? I will say Morales with her grenade is very effective at pushing Sergeant Hammer off of towers or pushing her into tower range. I believe she has a range talent on the grenade too, making it go very far.
Yes, I do believe so. We'll have to double check into that, but let's go ahead and get into this. Down a game in this best of 3 series, Freebirds on the left. We'll have Fancy Pants going to be on the Leoric. We'll have How going to be on the Genji. Diesel going to be on the Joanna. Caesar Salad once again on the Deckard Cain. And in the bottom lane, we have Unaverted on the Sergeant Hammer.
Yes, and on the red side, our game 1 winners, Divination, Noah playing Greymane, Big on Rainer, Liam playing Arel, Mysticles on the Murden, and Wolf on Morales. Everyone's going to want to join his wolf pack after this. We're going to see Lieutenant Morales everywhere.
We are going to be having everyone going into the mid lane at this point, though. Actually, not everyone. We do have Urel going straight into top, and we have Divination just splitting off into their respective lanes. They're like, no, we don't want to brawl. We'll let the wave come to us. We'll get the clear. No big deal. And this is going to be the start of the match, as Unaverted will start to poke out on this.
Yeah, and I think this is Divination basically saying, yeah, we know you guys pretty much always like to brawl, so we're going to go ahead and just split up, and we don't see the benefit to actually taking that brawl. I like this play. It's a little bit slower, but I like this play a lot. It really enables their composition. They want to scale. They want to get to the point where Rainer's just outputting a ton of damage. Because there's really nothing to be gained by fighting early right now.
No, realistically, I mean, I think you and I had this conversation yesterday, and I think pulled up the stats and the numbers on this of how much you actually get from a game. Oh, I think we have an admin that just left. But either way, we will be having. You don't get a lot of experience. I think there was like a level 4 kill, and I noted that it was like 600 experience for the team, which was a sliver on the bar. And so it's really no big deal in this situation to get early kills. Map rotation, map pressure, that is so much better to grab and have the enemy team needing to respond to these situations, as we do have the first Dragon Shire, Dragon Points operational, and Liam is going to be playing into this Leoric very strong, but no kills just yet, Dunk.
Oh, Liam actually dancing around the Drain Ho, showing him who is better. Genji, though, is actually going to go ahead and join this honorable duel, make it a 2v1, but Noah following him up, making sure he's punished for dishonorable combat.
And we do have Liam holding over top lane, and nothing in bottom just yet, so no availability for the Dragon Knight. 4s are going to be achieved almost simultaneously, as Unaverted going to be continued to be poked by Big. But Dunk, what do you do in this situation? You've got a Genji who will, you know, I wouldn't say body you, but get a lot of damage into you if you try and step up. How do you get onto Unaverted in the Sergeant Hammer? What's the play here? Honestly, it's just send Big up with Wolf healing him. Big has his own very large self-heal, and look at that grenade actually coming out, hitting Unaverted. He's actually going to knock him back just a little bit more. Look at Rainer, though. Easily winning this honorable duel of healer versus ranged carry. He has his own self-heal, reduced cooldown on fight or flight, really enabling him to stay in there against Unaverted. No value for the Sergeant Hammer here. Mystically, he's going to get the stun. Actually, the Unstoppable coming out just in time. Make sure it doesn't go across. He's actually going to start taking a ton of damage. Genji, with his improved auto attack damage, actually does it very well against tanks. Noah, though, doing a ton of damage. Fancy Pants, he's going to have to Wraith Walk out of here. Diesel, though, going to go ahead and find him here. Push him back in the middle lane. Oh, but Mystically is getting damaged pretty bad in that rotation, actually, by Genji, taking them down very low. But they will be able to proc their baseline ability and get that self-healing very easy from that third win, as this is going to be a stalled out objective still. No Dragonite picked up yet for either team, as we are approaching 7 talent tier, and Fancy Pants and Liam continue the eternal battle in top lane, as Unaverted actually How going to be diving in on bottom and maybe even getting the damage out into Big, but actually getting out with just a sliver of health.
You know, I think this is the first time I've seen the Riot medic skin, and I'm actually in love with the animations that Blizzard put on that hero. That is a very nice looking grenade and animation that she does.
This is
we actually see a little bit of a brawl though up in the top lane at the bruiser camp. It does look like Freebirds is going to be able to push on to their bruisers and actually steal it away from Urel and Nova. Not able to push on there. Noah actually took a ton of damage from the camp. Actually has to back out.
Yeah, they back right out of there. They're going to be fine. Top lane, once again, it's going to be brawled over between Fancy Pants and Liam, as they potentially have the channel for the Dragonite. Mid lane does have Joanna and Muradin available, and they do have a siege camp that needs to be, or a bruiser camp in top lane that needs to be addressed at some point. Diesel has the chance for this, but Noah and Mysticles do not want to allow it to happen. The thing is, though, that still means there's 2 in mid, as Genji will rotate up. They're going to get a little bit of poke onto them, but I think they're going to be... Actually, no, a little bit low here. Gets the roll away. Eyes in the Dark will keep them safe, as Mysticles gets the Dwarf Toss. I don't know, Dunk. Are they able to... They can't delay this.
No, Howin is definitely going to get that channel. Unfortunately, no one really wins the Deckard game versus Morales, Raynor versus Sergeant Hammer. So that bottom lane is completely negated, and Leoric is able to stay on Liam for such a long time. When forced to fight right on top of a Leoric, it is that much easier to be hit by that drain hook.
Bottom lane just going to be still having Sergeant Hammer unaverted, getting damage quite a bit by Big here, as Wolf continuing just to get that heal onto them. No big deal. Dragonite got a decent amount of value in mid. They're going to look at maybe trying to get a little bit more in this bottom lane, as there's 37% left onto this Dragonite. They do just get the Fire Breath. I think they're just trying to at least play the safe here with the low amount of health that they have on this.
Yeah, and Mystically is keeping Johanna from coming in. Unaverted is going to go ahead and pop his thrusters, zoom away. Murden just sitting on the Dragonite. 10 seconds left. Not really going to go far with that punt. No real lengthy advantage taken by Freebirds. About a half a level for them. We talked about it yesterday night. The towers are not worth as much XP as they used to be, so not being able to take a fort with that first Dragonite is kind of a letdown. It could have been level 10s, and it could have led to even more should they have taken the heroic advantage.
Now we just see rotations for camps. I mean, this is just, you kind of reset at this point. You play it safe for 10s, and that's what's going to be cheap by Freebirds. But Divination, they're not too far behind. Nothing too out of the ordinary. We actually have the BFG from the Sergeant Hammer, so they're going to be looking for that burst as well as maybe the late game orbital, as Liam is going to get poked by Genji at this point. They go ahead and get that mobility right out of there, and I think they're going to be able to make it out of here safe, as Wolf does get the knockback on that grenade. They're trying to step up onto this, but it's not working, as Mystically is a little too far from the team.
And we do see another Cursed Bullet from the Greymane, as well as a Hyperion.
No, but Lieutenant Morales, she didn't pick Stim Drone. Why didn't she pick Stim Drone? Dunk, Mysticles goes down, but Dunk, why did she not pick Stim Drone?
I have no words. I understand why you picked the medevac. It's very commonly used as an escape tool from like a quick Genji, because the medevac has a very hearty amount of health, very quick for escapes. Not only that though, it does enable them to move around the map very quickly as a unit. We are going to see Biggs kind of sniff out Diesel here. They're looking at the bottom camp. They now know that they're on it. Lyric's on his way. Muradin's on his way too, though. It's a 4v4 at the moment, but it is only 11-11. The first camp's going to fall down. Liam actually jumping in the back lane. It's already down. Stay a while and listen, use. We're going to see Big fall. The Hyperion comes out, but it's too late. Liam had the Art of Vendor up already. He's going to fall as well. Howin getting that second kill, trying to find more. It is a 2 for none for a bruiser camp.
I mean, just Urel with a side of Raynor right there. That Dragon Blade cutting right through them was absolutely what they needed on the side of Freebirds here, and they start to push in bottom. They'll control top lane very soon with Leoric. Genji's already in position. Maybe, nope, doesn't look, yeah, okay. I'm watching minimap and I'm just like, are you about to not rotate? But actually, Noah might be the target here, as they will step up trying to get this delay, but Diesel will be there to stall this out as well.
Yeah, and Howlin actually gonna go ahead and get that quick channel. It still is only an 8-minute Dragon Knight, so it's not that strong, but it is still enough to keep the momentum in the favor of Freebirds. We're gonna see Noah kind of tank it up and move it on it, do a bunch of damage. It's still at 80% though. In the bottom lane though, Unaverted pushing up. The Dragon Knight now coming down. They're gonna be on this keep here in just a moment. Wolf though using that grenade to make sure he's getting his stacks for one, as well as keeping Unaverted off of the fort.
They will assail onto this fort. They have Unaverted, and you said they're trying, but they can't keep Unaverted off of this, especially with the range that Sergeant Hammer has at this point into the game too. You're able to siege from such a far distance. It's going to be so ridiculous. As the Dragon Knight steps up onto this keep run gate, they will go ahead and have the scroll of sealing right at the gate there, and they're trying to at least catch a member out of position, but Mystically is walking in the back line, maybe looking for a flank, but no one else following up from the team.
Yeah, and Uriel working her way down, Unaverted taking a little bit of damage from Noah and Big, but is just still going to walk away. Decker, Kane, sustain with the Ancient Blessings and the Potion Talent at 4 is just absolutely phenomenal. This game, had the entire tempo has been controlled by Freebirds, and that's what you want when you play this Sergeant Hammer pick.
I keep looking at the siege on this map and also just the siege numbers in general. It's absolutely ridiculous at this point. The one thing I want to note, Genji sitting at the highest point with the siege, but also I do believe they have gotten into the Dragon Knight twice here, so that's a little skewed, but overall, I mean, 53,000 on the Sergeant Hammer and 54,000 on that Leoric. Doing amazing at this point on the side of Freebirds. Now, Divination, not too far behind. They've got a level and a half that they need to make up to at least even this out. They can maybe look for some picks here, as we actually have maybe a little bit of a brawl starting out in mid. They were looking for one, but they got Diesel just goes ahead and walks away. They're like, we don't want to stagger at death just yet.
Yeah, and I think the real difficulty lies for Divination in how do they engage these fights. Yep. It is extremely difficult to get on to Unaverted. He has the knockback. He has the unstoppable. He has the armor. He's a tank. That's the only way to put it. Mystically though, finding Diesel, he cursed a bullet, not coming out just yet. Stay while listening. Gonna go ahead and interrupt that rotation. Mystically though, going over, popping the avatar. Caesar Salad is actually very far out. The knockback coming out from Big. The cursed bullet trying to do a ton of damage. Caesar's very low. Big actually taking a ton of damage. There's the direct show. There's the BFG, getting them all low. Wolf, though, keeping them alive, doing work. Big gonna stay up. Liam trying to stay alive. Here comes the heal from Wolf. The unstoppable, though, preventing the knockback. He's falling awfully low. There's the medevac. He gets, he does not get in. So close. They are going to be able to get away, though. One for nothing, but
I thought that they were out of that so many times on the side of Divination, but Freebirds did an amazing job of just keeping pace. They go ahead, they grab the 4th Dragon Knight of the game. Mystically will stall it out for now. But the thing is, they also did lose their top lane fort during that also. There was a Bruiser camp that was picked up. Bruiser camp was picked up and it pushed in there during the entire time that chase was happening. Lost the fort, giving more experience over in favor for the members of Freebirds as they take this Dragon Knight. They worked on the mid fort very quickly, and they go into bottom lane. They're going to be looking for a keep 17-14 in levels, Dunk.
Yeah, and it's very difficult right now for the side of Divination. I actually hate to see it. Liam actually going get to the Naruto 4 instead of the Aegis of Light. That was so impactful for them in the last game. I feel like they're missing out on all that shielding, the armor that would be doing work against the BFG and the Dragonblade. Mystically is actually falling very low, already taking half his LP damage. The Dragon Knight though still at 38%. It's getting this keep down. That is a keep that it will fall. It's still only 12 minutes in the game. That's a 2.5 level advantage for the side of Freebirds. Mystically is just throwing some more, getting his Perfect Storm stacked up as much as he can, trying to add a little more damage to it. Not really much left for this Dragon Knight to commit to. Maybe just going to go ahead and breathe fire on the wall, or just walk away.
Yeah, I think that's the play at this point. They got the keep. They don't need to go. They don't need to be overly aggressive. Yes, 16s will be achieved soon, so they're trying to get as much play out of this as possible. But sometimes too much play is not a good thing, and I think they realize that. So they'll go ahead. They'll have the catapult pressure in bottom. They'll grab this Bruiser camp push down bottom lane, as well as the siege camp on the left hand side, and not the siege camp on the right, but they are going to go ahead on the side of Divination and at least get those 16s as quickly as possible, taking out that top lane a little bit here as Diesel's still scouting out the Bruiser camp on the right.
Yeah, and this 16 tier is very important for Divination. This is going to be the last time Divination has the chance to take a fight before 20s come out while on the same talent tier. Yes, they're down on levels, but having the same talents is a lot more impactful than being on the same level. We are seeing some pretty normal stuff coming out. Templar's Verdict actually coming out from the side of Aero as well as Executioner. That's going to be providing a ton of extra damage for them. It's just a matter of how well they use them.
Well, we currently have double Siege Camp, Bruiser Camp as well. The Leoric goes ahead and gets the Entomb. The Sounds comes out as well. Genji going to get a huge dash and a lot of damage with this Dragon Blade, and they are currently getting a lot of value here, but no one else falling. Just the Gray Man at this point, as they're starting to push back into the members of Freebirds. They might be able to defend this, as Fancy Pants has got the leash on Mystic Lees. They're spreading out a little bit at this point. The core is starting to fall off of the shields as well. Gonna go ahead and get that Ominous Wrath out from Fancy Pants to reduce the damage and try and step up here, but Liam in a bad spot. That will be another kill. Mystic Lees slowly falling as well. They have the Genji diving forward, but this looks like it's going to be the keep falling, or the core falling, and that is going to be game number 2 going over to Freebirds. GG. Well played.
Yeah, Freebirds, just all those siege camps, 4 siege camps, 2 catapults, and a bruiser camp, knowing full well there is no strong wave clear present on Divination. They push in for the end, 14 minutes, 6-0. I don't believe they lost a single fort in that game. Absolutely phenomenal play from Freebirds, really striking back. From the draft, having complete control of that game. At no point were Caesar Salad or Sergeant Hammer threatened, and with Johanna kind of roaming down, always threatening the Rainer and the Morales, never did they feel safe enough to really contest that bottom point. Excellent play by Freebirds.
Yeah, I think this is something that I asked you during the game, and I think we might have been, I think there were more fights that kept happening, but there was no way for them to get onto unaverted. Every time they tried to, there was some sort of denial, whether it was Diesel with the ability to just condemn and pull them away and slow. There was the unstoppable in Sergeant Hammer, the speed boost away, the knockback. You have Fancy Pants with the Entombs. You have Decker Kane getting slows and roots. It was really, really well played. They basically, the game plan was get a Sergeant Hammer and press in, but don't be too aggressive. Play it slow. And they played it slow for 14 minutes and 35 seconds. And that seemed to be slow enough for them to get the entire game. And it was an awesome play from Freebirds. I can't wait for this game 3 in this best of 3 series.
Yeah, and talking about that game though, I really want to give a shout out to Wolf. Keeping up with Deckard Cain with his healing numbers, but more importantly so, saving his teammates in that crazy fight where they had such little health left, but still managing to keep them alive. Absolutely terrifying. If they had lost any of those members at that point, it would have been that much sooner of a GG. Holding them out, but excellent play overall. But I just can't downplay the success of Sergeant Hammer in this tournament so far.
You can't. You really, really can't. And I think it's one of those things that it was brought over. I wouldn't say brought over, but it was highlighted during the mid-season brawl, and ever since then it's been like, all right, well, maybe we need to watch a little bit Korea. We need to watch Korea a little bit closer, because they're bringing out things that people really couldn't deal with, and now it seems to be the norm. And I'm not just saying it's just Korea, but at the same time, they really did show it off very, very well during that tournament series. And I North America, Europe, every region has taken it and, put their own twist on it and done an amazing job. And every time we get a Sergeant Hammer game, it feels so good, because it's such a good match that you're going to watch, because it's a lot of strategy to try and actually get onto that Sergeant Hammer, trying to burn her down quick enough where she doesn't get that value in this matchup. Yeah,
and you're not wrong. Actually, I believe Sergeant Hammer has actually been a staple in Korea for even longer
very
than
long.
that.
Even before
that is a hero they absolutely love playing.